Welcome to Stanford, California, the final quarterfinal at the 2025 NCAA Men's Water Polo Championship. It's the home team, Stanford, taking on UC Davis. Joined poolside here at the Avery Aquatic Center alongside John Abdu. I'm Greg Meskel. It's Stanford, the 3 seed, an at-large pick out of the MPSF at 17-7 on the year, and 2-4 in the MPSF, taking on UC Davis, champions of the Big West, 15-12, 3-2 in their league. Let's look at the bracket. Everything holding to form thus far through 3 quarterfinals. All of our top seeds moving on. So 1 semifinal set, USC and Fordham. UCLA moving past Princeton, and now it's left to Stanford and UC Davis to see if there might be any upsets on this first day of action here at Stanford. These two teams meeting for the 3rd time this season. They met back on September 6th. It was a 12-6 win for Stanford, and then again on October 19th, an 18-12 win for Stanford. And John, Dan Layson joked, well, just 6 more stops. 6 more stops, and that's the difference. Yeah. So it's not that simple. There's a lot more to do, but excited for his team, for the opportunity for them getting through the gauntlet that was the Big West to get here today. Yeah, a huge accomplishment for UC Davis, winning their first Big West championship. That's the first time they've won the Big West championship. Not the first time they've been NCAAs, but the first time they won that championship, and it's an opportunity for this program to compete at a high level, relatively local in Northern California, to be here now. And Greg, while all the seeding has held in the brackets thus far, there has still been a ton of excitement in all of these games. So I expect a huge fight from the Aggies every minute of this game. Ball's in the water, and we're underway with Stanford controlling the opening sprint in the black caps, Davis in the white. As we get going here, Cardinal moving left to right on your screen. Officials Haas Ortega, Peter Sofamixe. On a chilly Friday night in the Bay Area, some steam now coming off this heated pool at the Avery Aquatic Center. 4 drops that ball a bit. DeMartire now around the way. Here's Ryan Ohl. DeMartire on his legs, low skip, and it's denied by Baxter Chelsom. Starters for Davis: Chelsom in the cage, Andrew Hitchcock, Colin Nichols, Tommy Kiesling, Timothy Kerr, Mac Marr, and Oriel Vinas. For Stanford, Wes Temkin in cage, joined by Ryan Ohl, CJ Indard, Gian Pietro DeMartire, Alex Gheorghe, Botan Balok, and Ben Forer. Ball near side here to Nichols. Looking now, Kiesling drops it in the bucket, turn, and shot clock expires as they work to the big man, Andrew Hitchcock. Now, if you're watching this at home, you may not see the steam coming off the water. The temperature here cold, temperature dropping as the sun goes down here. You may not see that on the reflection, but this guy's fighting through as Chelsom gets his 2nd save. Big stop out of Baxter Chelsom, the redshirt sophomore from Harvard Westlake. He was the Big West tourney most valuable player. And for good reason. You see it here at the start of this game. 2 big saves from Chelsom and a big smile on his face after he makes those saves. Big, long frame, international experience with Team USA. Ready to try to pull the upset off for Davis. Head coach Dan Layson talked about the necessity of good goalkeeping to get the upset here against Stanford as Ryan Ohl rips that one away. Coach Layson knows the recipe. He knows the formula. It starts with your goalie. If you're going to pull an upset off, Baxter Chelsom already off to a good start here in that category, but it's going to have a great game the whole way. Said UC Davis has never, ever beaten Stanford in the history of these 2 programs. But the more times you play, the odds only go in our favor. That's right. The exclusion now, so a power play for the Cardinal. The first extra man we see in this one. Balok for waving that ball around, and a sniper shot from the outside. Score it for Ben Forer and the Cardinal. For the NorCal native out of Walnut Creek, watch this. How he fakes the ball and how he holds it. It's always in shooting position. Even with his elbow dropping, even with his hand moving, he's always able to shoot the ball at any position there. An elite level shooter, Ben Forer is. Gets the first one in the game here for the Cardinal. 1-0 start, and for four coming off of injury last year, played just 14 games, 58 goals this season now, so making up for lost time. Aggies on the attack. Oleg Shatsky's come on in the 23 cap, the sophomore from Irvine. Stryker now, Will Stryker in. Shatsky knocked down and puts it high.
Yeah, Oleg gets that ball over the cage. Almost looks like Temkin tipped that out. We're talking about good goalkeepers. Wes Temkin, a great one himself. Keep an eye on him through the game as well.
Another guy that has extensive time with Team USA, the transfer from Princeton. Shot clock to 10, Balok here. They move it around the perimeter, and that ball high over the cage. Good defense there from UC Davis to make it difficult. William Fosselman now. UC Davis searching for their first bit of offense, and they'll have a power play here. Shatsky brings it near side. Around the perimeter now, Stryker. Shatsky firing in a field block. The Cardinal all over it. And then leaking out in front, Schneider out ahead of the pack. Defender on his back, and he draws a penalty.
Wow. Two very high-level plays happened in sequence there. The field block, let's call it 3. Field block from Balog on Stanford. Gets the ball to Temkin. Temkin with a beautiful outlet pass right into the hand of Schneider, and then Schneider does such a great job of keeping his positioning inside to draw the penalty.
UC Davis frustrated, below firing and hitting. Davis felt as if there was some offensive contact there from Schneider as he made his way down the pool, but we play on. Botan Balok, one of the big guns for this Stanford team, connects for his 71st goal on the year.
Yeah, you watch Balak put it away, just easy skip there. I know that the UC Davis faithful cheering on there. The way I see that, Greg, is Will Schneider did a great job of getting inside. Once you have inside positioning, it's very challenging for the defender to do anything. So when he got inside position, held it, and that was going to be a penalty. Regardless of what exactly happened, once you have that positioning, that's what's going to go down. And again, just a really high-level sequence of events for that ball to get there from being in that spot.
2-0 start for Stanford. Back in the NCAAs for the second straight year, returning for the first time since 2021, as there's a block, and that's Temkin. Cardinal last won the title in 2019.
See how he blocked that ball, though? The ball blocked with his chest. His chest and stomach blocked that ball. What does that mean? His incredible lateral movement to get there. He didn't have to just reach his arm. He moved his whole body to get there. Wes Temkin, one of the best lateral moving goalies in the country.
And right back, Botan Balok, his second. Just on a nasty skip. And a 3-0 start for Stanford.
Yeah, Balok just puts this away. You really can't give him an inch. No blocker in front of him. Just goes right through it. Defenders all paying attention to Georgian side. Going to create that space for Bolak.
And a 3-0 start now. 3:36 to play here in the first. Also, correction, Stanford had previously made the tourney last in 2020 before last year. So UC Davis on their heels, down 3-0. Looking outside to Kiesling. A good option on offense. Clock to 5. Entry inside. Beautiful pass and turn. Just rattles out of the cage. Temkin's there to help turn back Andrew Hitchcock.
Yeah, Hitchcock, a great center there for UC Davis. Part of the reason why they're here and qualified through the Big West. Very dominant center inside.
Anytime you can get a 6'8", 250-pound, 2-meter man, you're glad to have it.
No doubt.
Power play for the Cardinal. Below now outside. Zelikov. Max Zelikov has come on, and he bar out. And the rebound covered up by UC Davis. So Stanford's second power play killed off here by the Aggies. They're now 1 for 2.
Aggies getting kind of what they need out of their goalkeeper. Chelsom playing great, defense playing all right, but can they get their first goal? Can they power through Temkin and this Cardinal defense?
That's the big question here looming. And they get it on cue. That's Max Prokin from the outside. The freshman from Brooklyn has his 13th goal on the year.
Ask and you shall receive. You need a goal? Go to Brooklyn in the house. Cross cage skip. Ask yourself the last time you said that on a broadcast in an NCAA championship, Greg. The kid from Brooklyn with a bucket.
It's been a minute. I'm often searching for a reason to say that. But
yes.
As a Brooklyn native myself, Max Prokin able to convert.
We had Wolf Weigo in attendance earlier, three-time Olympian.
City in the building.
Right, we had New York City. He'll appreciate that. But shout out to everyone in Brooklyn developing water polo out there right now, growing the sport, and great to see that geographic representation at the NCAA championship.
Our guy Carl Quigley doing
my man
the work out there for decades. Shot clock to 10. That's denied. New shot clock now for Stanford. DeMartire. Previously with UCLA, had a year off. Meanwhile, it's a turnover. Then it will come back to UC Davis with 1:41 to go in the first. Chelsom, what a dime! Throws it down, pull, and finishing inside Kiesling.
What a pass from Chelsom. We saw it earlier. It was Temkin to Schneider on the Stanford side. This time, it's Chelsom to Kiesling. On the hand, on the money. Puts it through. UC Davis hanging around here, fighting in the first quarter.
64th goal on the year for Kiesling. The redshirt sophomore went to school right nearby, the Menlo School out of Burlingame. And what a dish from Chelsom.
Just two fantastic goalkeepers in this matchup. So it's really going to see which one of them can fuel their team to victory. And more pressure on Chelsom here, though, needing to pull the upset off.
Chase McFarland now waving that ball around. Below cruising in and drills it. He's off to a hot start. 3 goals in this first quarter from Botan Below.
3 goals from 3 different spots in the pool. 1 on the left side, 1 on the penalty, and now here on the right side. Left alone on the wing. Opposite side of the pool just goes right through the hands of Chelsom. No defender in front. The Hungarian buries in the back of the net.
And it's interesting, you see that replay, defender kind of coming over late to join that scene. At that point, does a keeper prefer to just deal with it one on goalie?
Well, you got to try to get over there and knock down as quickly as you can. Anything you can do to help disrupt will be taken.
Minute remaining now in the first. 4-2 Stanford. Took a 3-0 lead. Aggies fighting back. Ting inside and an exclusion. Second power play on tap for the Aggies. 45 seconds to go, first quarter. Working along 2 meters. Nothing inside, around the way. Big takeaway to DeMartire. Just swats that ball in midair and tries to start the counter.
First time we called DeMartire's name, but we're going to call it several times tonight and maybe through the weekend. He keeps making plays like that.
Just a massive addition to this Stanford team in his final year of college water polo. Forer, shot clock to 5. McFarland gives it along 2 meters, field block, and then some from UC Davis. 3 seconds left. Last looks here. Chelsom, he'll pop it live and let it fly. And Temkin, goes up with the right.
Yeah.
That was more an adventure than he signed up for. And that's all for this first quarter. So 4-2, Stanford leads. They go up 3-0. UC Davis gets out the shovel, trying to dig out of this hole. They trail by 2. We'll take a timeout and return to Avery after this.
That was...
Second quarter on the way from Stanford. The Cardinal, the 3 seed, they lead UC Davis 4-2. Bundle up. Get out the winter hats, the jackets, the hoodies. There's some folks walking around here with shorts and t-shirts on. I don't know what's going on there. Need them to find some warmer clothes. Let's talk UC Davis and the Big West. You've gotten to cover this league quite a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
These results fascinate me. UC Davis, they earlier in the year took on Long Beach State, lost 11-4.
Yeah.
Then they meet them in the Big West tourney. They win 12-11.
Yeah.
They took on UC Santa Barbara earlier in the year, lost 16-13.
Yeah.
Meet them in the tourney, win 15-7. That's your 1 seed and your 2 seed.
That's right.
That defies logic. It wasn't 6 months ago. It's a span of weeks between these meetings. And Dan Layson, when I asked him, how does that happen? Make sense of those results. He said, at that point in the season, we hit a very unexpected dip in how we were playing. We're not playing well. So he was, I think, giving credence to the idea that they weren't as bad as they looked in those games.
That's right.
And then it was perhaps a much more even matchup when it came money time.
Absolutely. Success is not a linear path, and these seasons rarely go the way we think they're going to go. When you see nobody goes undefeated the whole way through, it rarely happens, right? Very rare occasion. And so, in fact, some of those losses early on can help define your identity. And the way I've watched Davis all year long this year, I think they were searching for that identity, searching for some unity, and they found it in their losses and then played their best polo at the right time, including right now.
Cardinal control to start off our second quarter as the steam rises off the pool here. For catch and release. Target practice.
We talked about Fora already. The sniper that he is. DeMartire setting him up. Catch, point. Ooh.
That is a goal on the sniper cage apparatus.
That's right there. Wow. Coaches used to tie up. We used to tie up caps in these corners. Get people to shoot. High corner. Fora would have broken the cap there. Right through it.
We talked about him missing time last year. You almost forget about him because he didn't play that much last year. There was so much depth on Stanford. And said, wait a minute, this guy is part of the attack for next year, now this season. And what a way to be welcomed back into the fold, back healthy, and has made such an impact.
Yeah, so many of those goal scorers graduated last year off the Stanford roster, so someone had to step up. And
oh, that was an odd deflection that was close to heading towards the cage.
But it's the right call. Right call.
We mentioned Stanford last year. Guys like Jackson Painter, Riley Pittman, Soren Jensen, Dash McFarland. That is a ridiculous amount of firepower.
Yes. All gone. 90% of the goals they scored against MPSF opponents last year, gone. And yet somehow Stanford, a higher seed this year in the NCAA tournament than last year. Great job from Coach Flax, Coach Farmer, the staff there to get the team competitive, ready to go for this 2025 season.
Well, you bring back Belote, you bring back Fora healthy, you add DeMartire. That cures a lot of your problems. And then the emergence of Jorge inside. Everyone shows up here trying to slow down Will Stryker on the inside. It's an exclusion drawn, and UC Davis will go to work on the extra man. Around the way, they work it. Keeping that ball off the water. Near side, field block, Stanford. Tough stuff.
Those are the kind of field blocks that don't just block the ball, but maybe take a little bit of your self-esteem out as well.
That's a confidence killer right there. Brian Flax will call for time. Cardinal in front 5-2 after the big stop. 6.5 to play in the first half. Aggies now 0 for 3 on the power play.
Power play ensuing here for Stanford. It was Ryan Ohl who made that field block earlier as they get a good look at the Davis bench and Coach Layson.
Going the varsity jacket look here on a chilly day.
Coach Layson did a tremendous job with this program. Again, first Big West championship history of the school. They are moving to the WCC, though.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's they have to keep changing their conference banners of the pool because they made the turning in the past with the WWPA.
Right.
Now they move to the Big West. They're comfortable there. Win that, not so fast. Now off to the WCC, which that league is going to be next level going forward.
But great to see multi-sport conferences like the WCC Big West sponsor water polo and continue to grow the sport that way.
On the post, and they'll score it. Give the goal. Wait, they're saying no goal. Excuse me. And George there in disbelief. He thought he had put one away. Instead, it will come back to UC Davis, so they get the stop. Here's Timothy Kerr. Kiesling now. Kerr, that's field blocked. Rebound there just in time from McMahon. New shot clock for the Aggies. Into Marr. Ordinary called. Kiesling now. Nothing easy here for Davis. Stanford heavy pressure. Kiesling gives it off to Nichols. His pass is devoured by McFarland. But they'll call an ordinary on Chase McFarland. Will stay here outside 6, put it up. And no, they say inside 6 on that restart was where the foul took place originally. So you can't shoot it from there. And the ball goes back to the Cardinal.
You know, Coach Brian Flax has only been known for having a really strong-nosed defensive philosophy, and you see it in these possessions. Stanford just playing really tough D.
Below fires that pass inside. What a quick scoop from George.
Feed the big man inside. Get the ball to the post. My God.
How do you stop this?
You get another look. That's just a hook shot. Oh, man. A Moses Malone type bucket from George.
The junior from Bucharest, Romania, has cut weight to get into excellent shape here when it comes to his impact for Stanford. Came into school at around 365 years ago, all the way down under 300. Actually found that was too light for what he was trying to do. Added some weight back, and he's found the right mix. 41 goals this year, more than 45 drawn exclusions.
That's good work. Perhaps I shouldn't have gone so deep in the reference to Moses Malone. Maybe a little more like a for the youngsters out there, like a Zion Williamson. You know, gets himself in shape. You know, stays trim and can dominate inside.
Good job by you jumping several decades to bring it back to present day.
Yeah. We're dating ourselves consistently on these broadcasts, Greg.
Kiesling tries to split two defenders. For and DeMartire say otherwise. Here come the Card. DeMartire leads the break. Four splits out wide. GP! Oh! Old school! You love it!
Oh, wow. Speaking of several decades back, GP, are you with me? Puts it across the cage on the tee shot. Wow. This one fun to watch. Watch what happens here. Left hand up. Right hand pushes it the other way. The old school tee shot. They won't teach you that in 2025. He had to go back to his youth for that one. Chelsom had no idea what was going on. Went right past him. Tough one. Big goal for a Cardinal.
Get out your old black and white instructional VHS, how to play water polo. And the tee shot does appear. 7-2. To add a guy of his caliber to this team. You talked about all the leadership, all the veteran presence that was moving on. He had already lived a college water polo life at a very high level with UCLA.
Yes.
Took a year off, didn't play. I think people forgot that he had eligibility. Gets a chance to come back, and what an addition for Stanford.
That's just so massive to get a guy like DeMarchi Ray onto your roster. I mean, we talk about how the changes in the NCAA have happened, where you're getting these grad students, you're getting guys who are older than before. The difference of having someone who's 18 years old, fresh out of high school, versus someone who, like you said, has already lived a whole career, has actually outlived and worked in the world. So his maturity level, his intelligence, his ability to analyze the game, having some time to take away from it, his international experience, all that put together is a huge piece for Stanford. Coach Flax singing his praises before the game started today of just how much of a difference he has made and why Stanford has had such a good season so far and is finding themselves pushing their way into the semis potentially one more time.
His last full season of college water polo was really 2022 with UCLA.
Yeah.
He had 43 goals in that season. He was injured for almost all of 23. He didn't play last season, and so comes back now. He's played club with the New York Athletic Club. He's part of the National League this past spring with his brother Massimo, who was a standout at USC.
That's right.
So was still very much active playing the game, but this is his last go round and making the most of it here. Stanford up 7-2.
What a way to go out for him here at Stanford. He can get his team into the finals this weekend.
Just cruise on by, grab a Stanford degree while you're here. Stop there, Temkin. Halfway through this second quarter. Oh,
4-8-2. Forward with the slingshot on that goal.
This is his third.
Watch where he shoots this ball from. The ball never went over his head. The ball did not go above his head, didn't go above his ear. That's not how we're fundamentally taught how to shoot the ball. That's a hook shot, a slingshot, gets it out, and that's what just makes Ben Forer so dangerous.
Drops it down sidearm.
Yeah.
8-2. The lead for Stanford. Ball tipped away, and Oles there for the steal. We started our day with Concordia pulling some trickery to surprise USC, and they hung tough with the Trojans through 2 quarters, or rather through a quarter at least, right? 3-3 there, and then kept on fighting throughout that game. And not to say the rest of these teams weren't prepared, but I wonder if that was a bit of a wake-up call to the rest of the higher seeds, because especially in our last 2 games, they've come with purpose to say we're not going to entertain an upset here.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh,
takeaway there. Intercept from McFarland.
You know, I think you're right, Greg. Everybody's here watching. You saw what Concordia did, and then all of a sudden you see UCLA, Stanford, really thinking, hey, we're the highest seeds here. That San Jose State Fordham game different. That was our pick'em of the day, right?
Yep.
That could have gone either way, right? But the heavy favorites in these games now have come much more prepared. But that's the semblance of a Brian Flax, Adam Wright coach team. Very well prepared coming into these matchups.
UC Davis draws the power play, and they will call a 30-second timeout with 2:33 to play in the first half. So they'll get their 6-on-5 attack readied, trailing 8-2. There's a look at Brian Flax. Year 4. After a long run at Harvard Westlake, helped build them into the premier program in Southern California. 4 CIF Southern Section titles.
Yeah, one of those few guys in the history of NCAA water polo making the jump from being a high school coach directly to being a head coach of an NCAA program. Well earned and deserved, though.
Another guy did that here at Stanford, John Vargas out of CDM. To Stanford, of course, he was also the Olympic team head coach.
That's right.
Who's counting? Oh, deflected and in. Tough luck goal there for Temkin, and the Aggies will take it any way they can get it.
Hey, just how they drew it up to execute that out, I guess. Then, yes, let's see how many arms this hits. Center cage, 1, 2. Off the field block. And those are always the toughest balls for goalies to keep track of. If the field block doesn't get it all the way to keep it out of the cage, tough to track that trajectory. Temkin still almost had it. And a desperately needed bucket for the Aggies.
That was Oriol Viñas, the freshman from Spain. Big West honorable mention select. Turning inside and a penalty.
Yeah.
So Stanford, they allow that goal and then waste no time going right into Will Schneider.
A monster move inside from Schneider to draw that penalty. 180 turn, the defender on his back.
Four. Save, Chelsom. Big time block from Baxter.
The Iron Cross comes out, makes that save.
In transition, Stanford does a nice job securing the middle, maybe too well. 4 is excluded. Aggies on the power play. Ting now near side, Shotsky. Looking in close, outside, denied, field block there, rebuffing the Prokin attempt. And we're back even.
Ooh, felt like the Aggies needed that one. They got a little bit of momentum. You get a 5-meter block, you get a goal there. You know the crowd will jump into it. You get it to a 4-goal game. Missed opportunity there for UC Davis.
DeMartire. Good look inside. Chelsom again. Baxter's keeping them in the mix.
It's the recipe for the upset. You need your goalkeeper to make those saves.
Less than a minute to play, first half. Offensive, that goes against UC Davis off the ball there. Andrew Hitchcock. DeMartire right now, full head of steam. Skip shot caught a wake there, and Karam's out of play. 25 seconds left in this first half. Shot clock is off. See if Chelsom joins the front court. Looks like he'll hang back. Ting. Firing and hitting. Adam Ting. Second on the year for the redshirt senior out of Miramani across the bay in Orinda.
Ting tickles the twine. Back of the net there.
Alliteration.
My AP English teacher will be happy right now. No one's stopping him in transition.
And 14 seconds to play.
And if you're 14 seconds away from this half, keep the ball to the back of the net for a little bit longer. Davis, you're still in the mix. You're still in the mix. And a little bit of momentum going into this second half.
Stanford will not take their foot off the gas here. They'll go 7-on-6.
Oh. Love the chess match being played here by the coaches at all times.
Just 7 seconds left. Cardinal with 4, with 3. Quick pass and a shot. Save Chelsom. Another to close the door on this first half. A series of big-time blocks from Baxter Chelsom to finish off this first half. But Stanford in the lead. 8-4, back-to-back 4-goal efforts in our first 2 quarters. have given them the advantage. We will take a timeout here at intermission and return. You're watching the 2025 NCAA Men's Water Polo Championship live on NCAA.com. Welcome back to Stanford. The Cardinal leading UC Davis 8-4. John Abdu and Greg Meskel joining you here. Alex Gourgay in the pool for the Card. John, we talked about the 4-goal deficit, about UC Davis building some momentum there. You got to like the game from Baxter Chelsom thus far. He's got 5 saves, but they've all felt high impact.
Yeah.
They are within shouting distance here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, 5 saves, including a penalty block, which not only keeps the score where it's at, but it gives your team some energy and some life and momentum here. And Greg Popovich, the great NBA legend coach, always talked about the first 3 minutes of the third quarter being pivotal in the game. And here it is right now. In water polo, same thing. Davis wins the sprint. If they can play hard here, these first 3 minutes, have a favorable score, they can find themselves back in this game.
And they win the sprint, so that helps. Moving left to right now as the teams have switched sides. McMahon holding out high. Here's Nichols. Timer to 5. With 2. Marr drops it inside. Quick turn. And just a turnover. Davis playing for an exclusion there at the very end of the shot clock.
They're getting the possession they want. They're going to try to get the ball inside, feed their centers. See if they can get some stops. We get a good look at Chelsom here now, right in front of us, Greg.
Ole, quiet thus far today. Here's Beloke. And now GP. DeMartire doing it all.
Aggies didn't want to give up the first goal of the second half. But to no avail. DeMartire on the right side of the pool, left side of the pool there, through the blocker. Chelsom, they're expecting his field blocker to cover that part of the goal for him. Doesn't get the help he needs. Stanford up 5.
55th goal on the year for the redshirt senior from Naples, Italy. He had 5 goals the first time these two got together early in the season. A tip and a near steal there from Schneider. Out on the perimeter and a field block. This Stanford defense suffocating yet again.
Yeah, we talk about that Stanford defense doing so much, although now an offense contrafoul brings it back.
Aggies on the move. That pass almost got away from Kerr. Now moving in, Tim Kerr.
Oh.
Rebound, controlled. Kiesling. Not viewed as a shot, so no shot clock reset there. Back to Kerr. That pass deflected. Over to Kerr. Timer winding down, tries a no-look. And Temkin all over it.
It's tough to know, look, when everyone knows you're going to shoot anyway. Late in the shot clock, bad angle there. Kerr almost had a real sneaky one right before that in transition. Tried to get it cross cage, and the Aggies are just going to continue to struggle to find the back of the net against this Stanford defense.
And now the Cardinal working hard in front of the cage. That's Schneider drawing an opportunity. Power play for Stanford. Over to 4. Oh, the one-timer inside, finding Schneider, who set it up in the first place and gets the reward.
A sophomore to sophomore connection. 4 to Schneider on the power play. Watch the ball move here. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. The second the ball touched his hand, 4 knew he wanted to go to the opposite post there to Schneider for the redirect. It's a beautiful power play by the Stanford Cardinal.
Schneider, another guy, part of that silver medal effort for Team USA at the Junior Worlds last summer. Look at a frustrated Dan Layson there as his team falls behind now, 10-4. Big exhale there of frustration.
Yeah, it's tough. And this defense can be very frustrating. You just see what Stanford does, right? They're pushing out. You're going to have to take shots at bad angles. You're going through field blocks, steals, and then through all that, you got to beat West Temkin at the end. Really frustrating defense to have to play through.
Broken now. Rockets it off the cage. New shot clock for UC Davis. Waylon Fox has come on. He controls here. Shot clock to 9. Here's Fox. Broken goes inside. Stanford comes over to help, but an exclusion. That's against Manatsakanian. Power play, UC Davis. Fox along 2 meters. Thought about popping that cross cage. There they go inside, and Stanford there once again. This defense does not give the Aggies any room to operate.
And that'll be their formula if they want to make the final here. They're going to want to get through the quarters, win that semifinal game. This defense is going to have to be this good, if not better, against UCLA in the semi.
Into Gheorghe, the big turn again.
Feed the big man, feed the monster there. Hook shot. The Romanian center putting it away.
Second look here. 2 scoops of raisins, that's a second right there. 11-4.
Well, that's what you do. You sub offense, defense there for your Gheorghe. You know, get the bucket. Go get some rest. Big man, we'll get you back.
That's been
soon.
the move with 2-meter men international.
100%.
Ben Halleck pretty much patented this move a couple of years ago.
Yes.
His actual time played very low because he was just handling the offensive part of things, drawing exclusions, trying to limit his fouls.
More so on the international level when you could do the lifetime subbing, the hockey subs on the side of the pool, which is a fun additional rule to have on the international level. You get to see this in the Olympics, World Championships, for all our viewers out there.
.324 to go. Third quarter. Offensive there from Stanford. Look at a whistle. Ordinary against Stanford. UC Davis with the ball here. 3:12 to go in the third. Mateo Ruano controlling. So Dan Layson getting more of his reserves on. Broken. Ting. And that ball just trickles away. They've been determined to get Andrew Hitchcock engaged.
Yeah.
But Stanford just camped out. They're ready, and these passes are not perfection. The Cardinal there for the takeaway. They have it. Now they call for time with 2:50 to go in the third quarter.
You know, if you're UC Davis, Greg, you want to get Hitchcock the ball. We talked about him earlier, 6'8" frame, the big center inside. That's a focal point of your offense. We saw it earlier with UCLA in these quarterfinals. When you have dominant centers inside, it makes shooting easier for your attackers, everyone on the perimeter. You look in here for Stanford, Schneider, Georgi, just like dominant centers across the board here that create space and score natural goals out of 2 meters.
2:50 remaining, 11-4 Stanford in control here. Again, another higher seed just taking charge early of a ball game and really limiting that upset potential. That's what Stanford wanted to do in this quarterfinal match. It's not been without effort, right? But
yeah,
not be involved in a nail-biter.
Yep.
Secure their spot, get to the semifinal, and then know they have obviously a daunting task against UCLA. The Aggies, they were hoping for some upset magic. Not their night this night. And it does, while maybe remove any premise of a surprise, it does give us 2 really exciting semifinals tomorrow.
Exciting semifinals.
Again, still plenty of time here, right? So we don't want to say Davis cannot come back. But if this does hold to form, it does set the table for an exciting Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and if it does hold, it would be the same Saturday afternoon we had in December of 2024. So, you know, oftentimes we say that familiarity breeds contempt. So the excitement can come from that continuity of playing those same opponents. You see them again. That contempt can bring a level of intensity to the semifinals tomorrow that will be fun to watch.
Yeah, that Fordham USC match a year ago, that was high octane. So looking forward to that one. That one is already set for sure. And then, of course, UCLA awaiting the winner of this one. We'll have it for you tomorrow on NCAA.com. And then don't forget, we're back Sunday for the National Championship live on ESPNU and the ESPN app. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Balok, it's Forer again. This guy locked in.
This kid has got a whip. Forer wastes no time. Off the timeout. Stanford calling timeout. Still using this game as an opportunity to grow and develop and prepare for these semifinals of the NCAA championship. We get the ball to Forer. Whips across cage.
And that is his 4th. .230 to go in the third. Stanford up now 12-4. Benefor out of Northgate High School. Now 61 goals this year in his sophomore season. Ordinary with 6 on the timer. Save Temkin. And Stanford does not need to rush here with this big cushion. Under 2 to go in the third quarter. Let's take a look at Forer here.
Yeah, the catch and release, catch and shoot. Just swings that ball, whips it into the cross cage area. Stanford firing all cylinders right now.
DeMarty right in close. That's CJ Indart posting inside. He draws the power play. Forer. Balok now Ole. Has a little bit of space. Instead goes Balok, and he goes bar out. And the rebound is there for Ruano. as we near the 1 minute mark in this third quarter. Kerr faking, inching in, hands everywhere for Stanford, but then they slam it home. On the post, score from Mateo Ruano, his 9th, the sophomore out of Rio Americano in the Sacramento area.
Kerr bringing all the defenders to him, gets it down to Ruano. Just beating Temkin near side. One of the hard-fought earned goals for the Aggies. Only 5 of them so far in this game. Really, you just see how hard it is for the Aggies to score. Tough angles, sliding it through that near post. Ruana gets the last one here, but that Stanford defense holding strong.
.43 seconds left. Ben for a big reason why Stanford is in command here. He goes inside to Gheorghe, who is surrounded. They take that ball away and then call for time. With 31 seconds left. That was a quick coverage from UC Davis. Everyone showed up.
I think it takes 3 guys to defend the 300-pound center from Romania.
So 12-5 the lead for Stanford, 31 seconds left. It's probably the first game that felt this far apart at this part of the matchup.
Agreed.
So far today. Even according to USC, I know the Trojans did build a nice little lead there in the second half, but Stanford has just really vacuumed out the emotion here from UC Davis with their play defensively.
Yeah, and it really because of the defense doing that. That USC Concordia game, USC scored 6 goals in the 4th quarter. So it felt close the vast majority of the way. And then USC kind of turned on the afterburners in the 4th quarter to make that happen after scoring those late goals. You get a good look here at the Davis huddle. They're not stopping though. They're not giving up, right? You see everybody talking. They're still coaching. They're in it. They're talking it through. They're putting things on the whiteboard. You know, like you said, Greg, not rolling over. There's still time left to go. But Stanford has really set the tone, the pace, and the emotion of this game from the second the whistle blew.
No matter how this turns out, I'm still looking forward to UC Davis's annual Giving Day video.
Yes.
Dan Layson always puts together some sort of musical number.
Fantastic.
He's covered old school hip hop. He's played the guitar. He is a bit of a Renaissance man. He is a man of many talents, including water polo coach.
He is my favorite water polo coach to trade playlists with oftentimes through the course of the year.
The look inside. Ordinary's there as Chelsom retreats. About a 1 second difference here, shot and game clock. This is Kerr, a scholar athlete recipient from the NCAA banquet last night. Shot clock to 4. And again, Stanford just all over the ball, stifling. And that is all for the third quarter. So the Cardinal outscore the Aggies 4-1 in the third, and they build a 12-5 advantage, well on their way to semifinal Saturday here in their home pool. We will take a timeout, come back with the 4th and final right here on NCAA.com. One more quarter to play in our last quarterfinal. Thanks for joining us all day long here on NCAA.com. Stanford leading UC Davis 12-5. John Abdu, Greg Meskel here with you. Cardinal 8 minutes away from punching their ticket onto the semifinal where they will meet UCLA. Again, a rematch on tap from last year's semifinal. Both of our semis. It was Fordham USC. Yep. The Trojans won in overtime, and then it was UCLA and Stanford. The Bruins won, and then the Bruins moving past USC in the Battle of LA. Good move here. Oh! Stepping through, Will Schneider. Cupping that ball like Sean Kemp going to the basket.
Schneider, the Rain Man move. Inside. Look at that entry pass from Bullock. Right in on the hand. We talked about the dominant center play all game long. Schneider with the dunk.
John, you played 2 meter. You taught a lot of 2 meter men.
Yeah.
Tell us about protecting the ball there. As you're trying to move towards the cage, you're getting that pressure from all angles.
Yeah. What he does a great job of, he being Schneider, has done a great job this whole game, is he gets his back on the defender. He goes back to chest on the defender. Somebody gets the defender's chest on his back, which seals everybody away from that goal. However you hold the ball at that point, you hold it till you can bury it and dunk it the way he did.
Exclusion on Stanford. So UC Davis with the 6-on-5 again here. They're just 1 for 6 and make that 1 for 7 as they inadvertently give that one away. So the unforced error is also tough to take here for the Aggies. They trail 13-5, 1 minute gone by in the fourth.
It doesn't help when you give the ball away in the midst of already stifling defense.
Ordinary. It's 4 out high. Now heavy defense here, a little too much from UC Davis. They'll get excluded. Stanford will have the 6-on-5. They're going to call for a timeout and set up their power play. And this is one of those timeouts I think sometimes the casual viewer watching this says, why on earth
why?
is this guy calling a timeout? You're up 13-5. This thing's in the bag. It's not about today.
Yeah.
It's about tomorrow.
It's about tomorrow and hopefully Sunday. If you're Brian Flax's staff trying to prepare. You talked about these semifinals being the same matchups as last year. The other thing that's the same as last year is the host venue. So Stanford getting to host the NCAA championships 2 years in a row. At this point, they are not here just to participate. They're here to win. They're here to win in their home pool and be in the final on Sunday. No worse feeling than hosting a championship and then having to watch 2 teams other than yourself play in the final. And Stanford had to do that last year. They don't want to do that this year.
Well, it's interesting. I asked Brian Flax about that before this season and said pressure to make it because you're the host, and I like laughed a bit and said, I look at it more like an opportunity, right? To be able to have that MPSF here too, right?
Yes.
You want to be in these things. And also for Stanford, for them to not make it those years in a row, it's kind of like what the Cal Bears are dealing with right now.
Correct.
These programs, there's no expectation for them to not be in the NCAAs. You're supposed to be here and then be fighting for a title. So that part is supposed to be a given. The thing that so many other teams, UC Davis, it's such a big thing just to get here. The pressure's already way up high for Stanford and SC, Cal, UCLA to be in the field, and then you better go all the way to the end. That's a lot for these teams to juggle. And so for Stanford, they've taken those incremental steps of making sure they're in it, and now how do you make the next move?
Hence the timeout and making sure that you execute this 6-on-5 in this moment.
That was Monotsakanian, now 4. And Balok. Here's 4. Good ball control. He's denied. Rebound comes right to Stanford. It's back to 4. Sides coming even. Advantage over, and Chelsem's there with the stop.
Rebound fell right in the hands of Max Zelikoff to extend the possession here. Now even strength. Fresh shot clock for Stanford.
I haven't even said Zelikoff's name all that much today. He's been another big addition to this team. Another guy with international experience that can fill it up.
Yeah, the Florida native out of Boca Raton. Really one of the best players in college water polo.
Here is Zelikov right on cue.
Sometimes I hate it when I'm right. Zelikov puts it away. Great shooter.
Not to be repetitive, but another player from the junior national team.
Team USA heavily represented here. And look at that release, just smooth release through the blockers into the back of the net.
Two-time Palm Beach County Player of the Year. Strong water polo culture in Florida.
Yeah.
Hoping to see the game grow more there. It's really a place where the sport could and should thrive.
And has a long history. Historically has had a big impact on college water polo, national water polo, international water polo. And so Florida continuing its presence, and we all got to do our part to continue to support the growth in the South.
Exactly. Saved there by Temkin, but he'll go right back to work as Stanford turns it over on the way down. Andrew Bonelli, redshirt sophomore from Redondo Beach. He goes inside, quick turn, and just over the cage. So a good look there on the interior for Luke Palavra, the freshman from Croatia, but just could not get that on the cage.
Well, if you're Dan Layson, now's an opportunity to play some freshmen, get some guys some minutes. If you're watching this, you're thinking, well, why aren't the benches just cleared? Why is there more? You only have 16 roster spots for these NCAA championships, so you really can't go that deep. Most everyone has played at this point. Just maybe one or two guys now coming in. Be interesting to see if Davis or Stanford brings in the second goalkeeper to get some minutes here in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter.
And if you're Stanford and you're moving on here with 4:34 to play, you also want to keep that edge here. You don't want to take the foot off the gas too early here to stay ready for tomorrow's matchup with UCLA, as we got a timeout called with 4:34 to play in the fourth. Stanford up 14-5. UC Davis calls for time. You look back at the structure of this game, and where did it go right for Stanford? Well, it was consistency. They scored 4 goals in each of the first 3 quarters. And they're pitching a shutout now here in the fourth, 2-0. So as their offense stayed steady, their defense got tighter and tighter. UC Davis became tougher and tougher to score. And they find themselves in a real comfortable spot now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They've done it with consistency, and this is what Brian Flax does as a coach. He builds great defensive teams who play well consistently throughout the season, but try to peak at the end. He's won championship at the high school level, at the club level, internationally as a head coach, seeking his first NCAA championship as a coach this weekend here at home. But this is what he does well, and historically, Stanford been in the mix. Maybe not as many quantity-wise as USC or UCLA or Cal, but consistently in the mix, winning national championships.
Big article out on GoStanford.com this week, looking back at the 1976 NCAA championship team. Cardinal faithful wondering, could there be a full circle moment this weekend? They're so used to winning championships here on campus. They have a 49-year NCAA title streak. That's across all sports here. So men's water polo, the next team that can try and keep that going. Inside look and put it away. That's what Andrew Hitchcock's been working for all day. The redshirt senior, they're going to miss him. He had the dagger against Long Beach State in that Big West final, and this has just been tough sledding.
Yeah, and that's great center play. You see how he creates separation from the defender, shows his hand exactly where he wants the ball, puts it away, the 6'8" frame of Hitchcock. Great to see that on display here, even late in this game. Young people watching this game, and we keep talking about centers and what centers have been doing. It's good to fundamentally watch and learn from these older ones.
Stanford playing keep. Boy, that elicits a few boos from the UC Davis faithful that want to see them play. And they'll dump this aside as the shot clock expires with 3:36 to go.
Yeah, interesting. Just looking to work the clock down. Coach maybe seeing not to engage, trying to keep everybody healthy as well, injury-free moving into the semifinals.
And you can crunch the numbers here, even if the Aggies went on a run of goals. Just not enough time left. That is an exclusion against Stanford, so a power play here for UC Davis. Kiesling, and they go back to back. This time it's Tommy Kiesling with his second.
And Kiesling, a great shooter. A great scorer in general. See it on this play here. Gets the pass from Ting, cross face. Ooh, right into that low corner. Sniper shot. Beats Temkin.
Yeah, he's been a bucket since day one.
Yes.
51 goals last year as a freshman. Now 65.
You know, very hard to tell, you know, on the stream, but there's a little, like, steam tornadoes coming out of the pool in these little spots. It's really, really fascinating to watch these student athletes battle in these conditions.
Need Bill Nye to join the broadcast here to break down what is going on here atmospherically.
Yeah, Tanner Police getting his first minutes for the Cardinal with the dump there, and they're going to continue to not play offense here. I wonder too, sometimes as a coach, you do these things so that you can play more defense. If you need to, like, put pressure on your goalie, put pressure on your defense, to having to keep play, knowing that your offense has been doing well so far in this game. But at times, as a coach, being in kind of blowout situations or larger leads, we would take exclusions just so we could play 5-on-6, so we could practice it a little bit.
Timeout again with 2:37 to play. So everyone has exhausted all of their timeouts. Brian Flack, some final thoughts for his group. And that would make sense. You've suggested more than once defense will be the thing that carries this team through to a final against a team like UCLA tomorrow. So why not get some extra reps
against a quality opponent and not against yourself, things you can't predict. This is essentially turned into a training module for a few minutes for Stanford to carry on.
This guy's got the right idea. The blanket, the scarf, these people came prepared.
Yeah. And the Jurassic Park style hat there. Right. Keeping yourself warm.
Made it off the island.
Yep. And we do see the goalkeeper change there for Stanford. Wes Temkin going to sign off and get his rest.
Harrison Rolene coming on from just down the road. Sacred Heart Prep, Atherton. Comes in with 17 saves on the year. So Rolene will put the ball in play.
And that's about it.
We'll spread it out. Old school four corners here. Shot clock to 3. And Police will dump that in the corner with 2:08 to play. Broken. Now Kerr. Rattle that cage one more time. Max Broken. Brooklyn's finest.
Yeah. BK. Broken representing. Doesn't catch the ball cleanly. Still gets it off his wrist and into the back of the goal. You know, Davis still has a lot to be proud of this season. Right? We talked about their trajectory and where they're going, where they've been, and this is a big part of developing the program, under Coach Lason's leadership, and the whole athletic department of UC Davis doing a great job. Big goals over there for them to keep expanding their presence in the Central Valley.
And you mentioned that WCC League next year with Davis joining, and they're just getting started, but watch out for St. Mary's. They
totally
are going to load up quickly, score the goal there for the Cardinal. And Christopher Harikelian, just his 4th on the year, the junior from Harvard Westlake, but James Lathrop and the Gales excited to get rolling.
Yeah, speaking of high school coaches, James Lathrop, legendary high school coach, making his move over to St. Mary's, and Harikelian played for his legendary high school coach, ironically, was Brian Flax at Harvard Westlake. Now gets him on a 2nd time around here as a college coach. And yeah, huge shout out to the St. Mary's athletic department and for adding men's and women's water polo and men's and women's swimming and diving. Great to see those programs come through and see aquatics grow in the NorCal area.
It's a water polo hotbed. We talked about Concordia earlier and being in Irvine. To have a Division I program in Moraga makes a ton of sense when you talk about the excitement for water polo. Is a nice move inside there. And able to hit in close. Another for Mateo Ruano. His 2nd.
Yeah, Ruano getting his buckets. His mom, a former national team standout herself for Team USA. Oh, creates some space, gets the dry pass, and puts it away.
Rachel Scott, part of that group that led up to the original women's Olympic water polo team. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the Sydney Olympic Games in the year 2000. So coming up on half a minute to go. Also, since we shouted out James Lathrop, got to give some love to Stephen Loomis, head man for the women's program at St. Mary's as well. Oh, that would have been pretty. Backhand attempt there from Zerbudakis. The turnover, it's back to Rolene, and the Cardinal, and the shot clock is off, and that's all for this one with 10 seconds remaining. Stanford leaves little doubt from the jump, and they are headed back to the semifinals once again. The Cardinal moving on in their home pool. They defeat UC Davis 15-9. Stanford improves to 18-7. UC Davis, their season ends at 15-13, but a season to build on for the Aggies as they change leagues come next year. And John, we talked about it. Stanford defense so tough. They get the offense. Ben Four lights it up from the outside. Below early on, Four late, and that really led the charge as they took home the win here, 15-9.
Yeah, just a dominant defensive effort from the Cardinal through and through. Opening whistle to the final buzzer here. And Greg, we get the semifinals we expected and are thrilled for come tomorrow.
So this is the final quarterfinal, but it sets the table for tomorrow. 2 big semifinals. Again, all the top seeds taking care of business here. It started with USC getting the win over Concordia, and then Fordham and San Jose State. Bit of a toss-up with the Rams, especially in that second half, taking control. They get the win. UCLA, a convincing victory over Princeton. And then Stanford does the job here against UC Davis. And they'll move their name along on the bracket, and we'll show you the latest bracket here.
Yep.
So again, as you expected, if you're a fan of the favorites, 1 against 4, 2 against 3. It's a rematch of last year's semifinal round. Last year it ended with the LA schools moving into the championship. Well, that happened tomorrow. You'll just have to come back and find out. We'll be here live on NCAA.com. But that is going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much to everyone who joined us throughout 4 exciting matches in our quarterfinal round. Looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time on NCAA.com. But for our entire crew, my partner John Abdu, Greg Meskel saying so long. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the semifinals live on NCAA.com.